Picking your top 5 favorite movies is not an easy thing. They constantly change. It depends on your humor, it depends on your mood, it depends on a bunch of things. And there are so many movies being made every year that that list can change. For me, it hasn't. It hasn't changed in 20 years. Now, of course, there have been a bunch of amazing films that have come out since then. And I might even do a list of the top movies that I've seen this year. But in this case, these are the movies that I will never forget what they made me feel the first time I saw them and how they changed my life. So this is a top 5 list of my favorite movies of all time.
Enough time passes, you get so you depend on it.
Now, before the internet even existed, to find a movie, you would have to go see it in a movie theater. Now, The Shawshank Redemption did not get a wide release until it was nominated for multiple Academy Awards. When I saw this movie, it blew me away. Every aspect of it, from the cinematography, from the narrative, from the acting, the music, everything. And you can't deny that for a first feature film, Frank Darabont knocked it out of the park. This was the type of movie that you felt compelled to lend out to people. Anytime anybody was going to Blockbuster to rent a movie and they didn't know what to rent, I would always say, rent The Shawshank Redemption. It excels. It is pretty much a perfect film. And when I see that ending, it still makes me want to cry. Nothing wrong with that. If you haven't seen it, check it out as soon as possible. You can catch it on Netflix, HBO, and if it's not on those platforms, I suggest that you rent it. You will not be disappointed. The always cool Pulp Fiction.
Come on, let's get in character.
My dumb cousin David was the one that was obsessed with this movie. He would not stop talking about this movie. I didn't know what to do because I was obsessed with another movie at the time. So he told me, I'll take you to the movies. He snuck me in and I saw it. It blew my mind. I didn't know what I was watching. The narrative was all over the place. The people that I'm supposed to root for are antagonists. The soundtrack is an old, cool 70s soul, funk, surf rock. It's a movie that changed cinema in every aspect. Combining 3 stories in 90 minutes was unheard of in mainstream cinema in America. Not to mention that the 3 main characters were all part of the criminal world. This movie really didn't give you anyone who was squeaky clean, and I loved it for it. The soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks I have ever heard. I've owned it in every format, from tape to CD to digital and now to vinyl. You don't believe me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Boom, there it is. I have seen this movie at least 50 times, and I will never get tired of it. Quentin Tarantino is one of the few directors that continue to make film a spectacle, and I respect the heck out of him for it. Number 3, Forrest Gump.
You can sit here if you want.
I had never seen anything so beautiful in my life. She was like an angel.
Now, I've heard from various people that the newer generation mock this movie or not appreciate it as much. I don't know why that is. This movie, I think, is a great balance between comedy and drama. Note, I am saying comedy. It is supposed to be funny at times. And I feel that the movie has a fantastic moral. You see, the main character, Forrest Gump, is born with a mental disability, raised by a single mother, and we follow him through 4 decades of American history. Now, the beautiful thing about this movie is the fact that this man can see everything that America has gone through in those 4 decades and see everything in a positive light. We follow him through the assassination of John F. Kennedy, Vietnam, starting his own company, becoming a shrimp boat captain, etc. I think what I took about this movie is that no matter how ugly things get, you should always push on through. You should always get up and keep going. And just because life gets hard, you can still be nice and optimistic. Of course, it's a movie, but it's a beautiful moral. With amazing performances from everyone, to amazing cinematography, an impeccable soundtrack that capture all 4 decades of Americana, this movie is one that people should revisit over and over again. I know anytime it's on TV or anything, you gotta watch it all the way through. So, When I was in film school, they asked us a question. Our teacher asked us, what is your favorite movie? Everyone answered, what they thought was their favorite movie of all time. Some people answered Seven Samurai, Breathless, etc. My answer was a little bit different. My response was Star Wars. And why? That opening shot when the rebellion is fleeing from the Empire. I still remember being a kid seeing that for the first time, and it blew my mind. That was the first movie, I think I was like 3 or 4, that I actually said, wow, you can actually travel outside of the Earth. A lot of people can say that Empire is the best movie, and it is a fantastic film, but I think I'm going to go with Episode 4 just because what it created, what it started, the whole pop culture obsession with the Jedis, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. I mean, every character is iconic. And mind you, back then, being a Star Wars fan was not acceptable. A lot of people think that Star Wars was cool always. It was cool for us nerds, but now it's, geek culture is incredibly popular. Back then it wasn't. So whenever you would walk and talk to a girl or someone that you had a crush on and be like, hey, do you like Star Wars? You would always be labeled as a nerd and they wouldn't want to talk to you, which is okay because I embraced who I was and I didn't care. And that's exactly what Star Wars reminds me. Star Wars reminds me of accepting who I am and being okay with that. And if people get on board, awesome. It's something you can share with friends. And if you don't, too bad. Hit the road. But now, the way things are right now, you've got comic book conventions, you've got fan films, you've got... This franchise gave us one of the best villains in cinema. They gave us a new outlook on a sword, which a cartoon, Thunder the Barbarian, copied. Some of the best music scores, and many other things. Not to mention, you gotta respect a franchise that even after 40 years, it continues to gather new fans.
You should know that.
Corleone family wants to buy you out.
The Corleone family wants to buy me out. No, I buy you out. You don't buy me out.
Now the mother of all films for me, The Godfather. Now a lot of people say The Godfather 2 is better than 1. And in some points it is, but I think overall, part 1 is better. From the opening scene when Bonacera goes and asks Vito Corleone for revenge for what happened to his daughter.
I believe in America. America has made my fortune.
I was hooked. This movie includes an amazing cast of some of the best actors in American cinema. Not to mention the score, the scenes, everything in this movie is perfect. There's not a single scene that is not done with such class. This movie has so many themes that it would take at least a couple of hours to analyze every scene or analyze the movie as a whole. From loyalty to family to revenge. There's a thing that I always say to some of my best friends. When I watch a movie like The Godfather, The Godfather 2, Shawshank Redemption, I get angry because I know that I can never do a movie as perfect as that. Angry and jealous in a good sense because I respect them. These filmmakers, Tarantino, Frank Darabont, I respect and I'm jealous of them because I can never make something as perfect as they did with these 5 movies. You see, film is not only an art, it's a way of life, it's a passion, it's an obsession. And when people knock it out of the park and they make a project that will hold on or will stay with you for years and years and years to come, that is the reason why I want to be a filmmaker. If I can ever create something that makes people feel what I felt when I saw one of these movies, then I think I've succeeded in life. Here's to the creators, to the writers, to everyone involved in films. Thank you for creating movies that will identify with each and every one of us for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and please do not forget to subscribe. Just click that little red button right there and YouTube will let you know every time I upload a new video. New content every Monday, including behind the scenes videos, music videos, and much more. So please don't forget to subscribe and check out these videos that I recommend.